Picture this. You're a woman, headed to work, just trying to survive the morning rush on the BART train in San Francisco. Suddenly, some guy, clearly high on fentanyl, starts groping you. Yeah, that's not a wild dystopian fantasy. That actually happens. A lot. And it happens so often that BART, the Bay Area's transit system, has posters up telling people what to do during an assault. I'm not joking. Like a bureaucratic good luck out there in poster form. Now compare that to places like ultra-conservative Saudi Arabia or hyper-efficient Singapore. You don't see this happening there. Not once, and definitely not again. So what gives? More importantly, how do different ideologies react to something like this? First up, the paleo-conservative. You know the type. Old school, traditional, and usually religious. Their first reaction? Blame the woman. What was she wearing? Why was she alone? Yeah, it's a gross mindset, but it's real. This line of thinking still shows up in places with strict moral codes. Think some parts of the Middle East. Thankfully, most modern conservatives don't go that far anymore, but the echoes are still there. Then there's the modern conservative. Different approach, same focus. The perpetrator. Their first thought? Where's the cop? Hit the guy. Lock him up. Make him pay. It's all about punishment. He broke the rules, so it's time to face the consequences. Fair enough, but again, the spotlight stays on the attacker. Now let's talk about the liberal response. It's all empathy. Maybe he had a rough childhood. Maybe society failed him. He needs therapy. They want to fix him with compassion, rehabilitate, hug it out. And while that sounds nice in theory, what if he can't be fixed? That's where the progressive comes in. Progressives flip the script. They don't start by asking, how do we save this guy? They ask, how do we make sure this never happens again? It's not about hugging or hitting. It's about halting, preventing, protecting people before they get hurt. Because while the others are focused on the criminal, the progressive is thinking about you, the person who just got groped on your way to work. Here's where things get real. Science tells us some people just aren't reformable. Their brain chemistry, especially when warped by extreme addiction, makes it almost impossible. In America, less than 2% of hardcore addicts actually recover. That's right, 98% relapse. So, hugging them doesn't work. Hitting them doesn't work. What then? Let's use a controversial but eye-opening analogy: Down syndrome. No one, regardless of their politics, thinks a person with Down syndrome should be handed a shotgun. Not because we hate them, but because we recognize limits. So why don't we apply that same common-sense thinking to chronic violent behavior? A truly progressive stance isn't about revenge, forgiveness, hugging, or hitting. It's about supervision over sentiment. If someone has a 98% chance of committing another violent act, we shouldn't roll the dice just to feel morally superior. We need systems, scientific, therapeutic, humane, that protect the innocent first. Because here's the thing, it's not about whether you hate the guy or forgive the guy. It's about making sure no one else meets him on that train. Thanks for watching. If this made you think or even made you uncomfortable, good, that's the point. Hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let's keep the focus on building a safer, saner society, where people who can behave don't lose their freedom to those who won't. Catch you next time.